Hi guys, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like my videos, please press the like button and please do subscribe. Alexa, what's the time please?
The time is 8:53 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
Today is Saturday the 14th of January.
Alexa, what's the weather like?
Currently, in Rochester it's 10 degrees Celsius with showers. You can expect more of the same today, with a high of 12 degrees and a low of 4 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
Why did the biscuit go to hospital? Because he felt crummy.
Right guys, so today I'm determined to just have one day where I make sure that I take care of myself, love myself and make sure that I'm okay, because a lot of the week I feel shitty. I don't know if anybody else does, crappy. So it's nice to just have one day where you sit down and I'm going to do everything I want to do, go everywhere I want to go and look after myself. And all the negative messages, phone calls, I'm going to shut them off for one day. I'm going to listen to them obviously, but I'm not going to take them in and I'm not going to let anything upset me. That's what I mean. Last night I told you I came back and I'd inhaled a vast amount of stinky weed. I came back into my flat. It also affected Max. He just stayed like comatose on the sofa for about an hour and a half before I felt strange. It was a really, really potent smell. It didn't smell like just ordinary weed. It was potent. It didn't help that I walked past it and I was right near these people. But it does affect pets too. Came back into my flat and I put on that film, Keeping Mum. Keeping Mum was about a woman who'd escaped from a mental institution from years ago after killing her lover for cheating. So she gets out and then she goes and visits her daughter. And then everyone that upsets her daughter, she bumps off. She kills them. Spade, iron, shovel, whatever, she kills them. And that's what that film was about, Keeping Mum. Rowan Atkinson, it was a 2006 film, quite old, was a vicar. And he wasn't interested in sex, so his wife wasn't getting any. But her mum showed Rowan Atkinson that there is sex actually in the Bible, and that turned the vicar on and he started having sexual relations with his wife again. There's also a promiscuous daughter in the mix, going out with about 4 or 5 different lads every week. It was sort of a funny, macabre comedy, but I did enjoy it. I watched it all. It was an old film. It's nearly 20 years old, but I watched it. So I watched that, and then I managed to be able to get to bed last night without any trouble, not too much noise. This morning I've got up slowly but surely. I felt a bit like grotty and like I didn't want to get up. Again, today it's raining. Saturday morning it's raining outside. It's dull, damp and dreary. Umbrella weather again. So I've got to find some time to take Max out in between heavy spells and spatters of rain. I'm not actually probably going to travel anywhere far today, but I'm just saying I'm just going to make sure that I make myself feel okay and do things that make me feel happy and not other people, because that's what I've tended to do, and I've ended up being used as a doormat and just discarded and left alone, because that's what people do when you're soft and you go along with everything they say. They want a bit of like different variety, and they want someone to bite them back, if you know what I mean, and not just sit there and take it, so they bugger off basically. Alexa, can you put LBC radio on?
LBC London from Global Player.
Are angry.
Absolutely right, and your point is valid. Every single driver wants to breathe clean air. Everyone wants to make sure the environment is lovely and acceptable for all of us. But unfortunately, you shouldn't do it by damaging London's economy. I mean, we're coming out with a poll in the early part of next week, and I've just written an op-ed for The Sun regarding this whole issue. And 1 in 3 people who answered that poll, 42,000, 1 in 3 said they're no longer coming into Greater London. That's tourists, sole traders, all those sorts of people. There are people that have to come in, like midwives, who, if they're doing a shift over 2 days, they have to pay twice. Those are the sorts of things that are happening. It's going to be a serious damage to London's economy.
Sutton is refusing to sign this official agreement that will greenlight the rollout of cameras. They don't want these cameras. They think it's going to hurt business. They're not going to go ahead. I think they can be overruled, though.
Absolutely right. I mean, I really wish them luck in this, and I understand Bromley's considering it, and certain North London boroughs are also
Bromley,
doing
Bexley, Hillingdon and Harrow have said they're now examining the legality of the extension.
That's right, but unfortunately, because Transport for London still can actually veto everything anyone else says. So it's going to be an interesting legal challenge, and I'm going to be watching very closely, as are drivers.
Yeah, it could generate as much as 400 million quid a year for the London mayor.
Yes, it's funny that, isn't it? It'll be interesting to know how that marries up with his massive deficit, his black hole, his inept management of the economy, London's economy.
All right, well, listen, good speaking with you once again. Howard Cox, founder of Fair Fuel UK, that London Borough defying Sadiq Khan by refusing to install ULEZ cameras. 8:59 then. We changed tack now. The NHS Chief Executive Amanda Pritchard has spoken out on our crumbling NHS, calling for a massive increase in the training of homegrown doctors and nurses, and warning the hospitals are over-reliant on foreign staff. She also admitted that the lack of emergency care is killing people. Her own service is killing people. I mean, that is a cry for help, surely. More on that in the next hour, and this as well.
A 28-year-old woman was sadly pronounced dead at the scene. A total of 8 dogs were detained by officers and they remain in the custody of police.
There has been a total of 33,500 reconstructive surgeries performed as a result of dog bites in the last 10 years. 1 in 4 of those cases involved a child under the age of 10. Why is this on the increase? Should we take another look at the Dangerous Dogs Act?
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
From Global's newsroom at 9 o'clock. Iran state media says British Iranian national Ali Reza Akbari has been executed. Mr. Akbari was arrested in 2019 in Iran for spying charges, which he denied. Rishi Sunak has called it a callous and cowardly act. Our reporter Jay Akbar has the story.
Iran executed Ali Reza Akbari despite calls from the British government not to proceed. Only yesterday, Foreign Secretary James Cleverly told Iran not to follow through with its brutal threat. But today, an Iranian news agency announced his death. Akbari, a former deputy defense minister in Iran, was accused of being a spy for MI6 in 2019. It's reported he denied the charge but confessed on camera after being tortured.
Some ambulance workers say they feel betrayed by the government after attempts to paint them as uncaring. Members of the GMB union have written an open letter to the Prime Minister accusing him of demonising emergency workers who have been on strike. Downing Street says the door remains open for talks and insists ambulance staff are greatly valued. Planned NHS strikes in Scotland, however, have been put on hold. Negotiations between Holyrood and 3 medical unions will now resume. A string of flood warnings in place for most of the UK are likely to cause disruption this weekend. Drivers are being warned to take extra care on the roads. Overflowing rivers have already caused gridlock in some towns, including in Shropshire. Meteorologist Joe Wheeler is in the pouring rain in Lincolnshire.
We are seeing some very changeable conditions, and this all started with that big snowstorm in the States, which basically invigorated the jet stream, which started pushing all this very active weather towards us. And then we'll see temperatures dropping, sub-zero temperatures overnight, and of course the risk of snow and ice.
Single-use plastic plates, cutlery and some cups are going to be banned in England from October. The government says it's prepared to make any breaches of the rules a criminal offence. Nina Schrank from environmental group Greenpeace says she wants to see more being done.
We're the second biggest producer of waste per person behind the US in the world. Therefore, we need a proportionate solution to deal with that. We want to see sweeping reduction of how much plastic is produced.
The weather, rain will sweep eastwards this morning across Britain, but Northern Ireland will have some bright spells. This afternoon, England and Wales will brighten up as well, with showers spreading to the northwest and a high of 12 degrees. From Global's newsroom, I'm Lottie Morley.
The Premier League
Alexa,
is back.
Stop. Right, guys, so again, dangerous dogs mentioned. There is an increase of dog bites, dogs biting, and why. And I shall hope to find out and listen to that episode of LBC. I don't know why, but there is a distinct lack of police and community support in every area at the moment. That's what I believe. I saw 2 policemen going into the co-op yesterday. They weren't patrolling up and down the road, they just went into the co-op. Probably to get something to eat, I don't know. And you know, someone's stealing a bit of food because they are poor. They seem to pounce. Police, when I was a younger woman, used to pounce on people that were stealing because they were hungry. Yet real crimes they seem to be overlooking. See you later.